David Walliams is suing his former bosses at Britain's Got Talent after he was axed from his £1.5 million a year role as a judge. The comedian is seeking significant damages from production company Fremantle following the decision to drop him from the ITV show in November last year.
Fans of Britain's Got Talent who saw David Walliams in action often called him the best judge the show ever had. His energy was unmatched, and his unique way of judging made contestants feel comfortable. But David's unexpected departure from the show left everyone in shock.
David Walliams is allegedly suing Britain's Got Talent bosses after he was axed from the ITV show. The former Little Britain star is reportedly seeking significant damages following his resignation back in November.
Especially after the scandal that had stirred up controversy. Was that the real reason he left? Or was there something more? The truth has finally been uncovered. But what is the full story? And why are so many people curious about what really happened? Join us as we uncover what really happened to David Walliams from Britain's Got Talent. What happened to David Walliams? David Walliams left Britain's Got Talent following a serious scandal that left both the show and its audience in total shock. The comedian, who had brought so much laughter to the show, suddenly became the center of the biggest controversy in Britain's Got Talent history. This marked the most severe downfall of his career, leaving everyone wondering what had gone wrong. The scandal not only damaged David's reputation, but also affected the show's image. Britain's Got Talent had always been known for its family-friendly entertainment, but the scandal brought a negative spotlight to the program. The show's producers and fans were left feeling disappointed, but only a few know how it all began. Stay stunned. We have got the full gist for you. The scandal that led to David Walliams' downfall began in November 2022. A shocking leaked recording revealed his inappropriate remarks about contestants on Britain's Got Talent. This controversy quickly dominated headlines and social media discussions. As a result, David's long journey with the show was affected. The leaked recording, first exposed by The Guardian, revealed David's derogatory comments during a January 2020 taping.
Walliams stepped down after being caught on mic making derogatory comments about contestants during a break in filming. In one instance, he called an elderly performer the C word 3 times, and Walliams apologised after the transcript was leaked, arguing his comments were part of a private conversation never intended for broadcast.
In the conversation, David was using offensive language to describe an elderly male contestant. This was a surprise to many. However, what is even more surprising is that David's comments were made in January 2020, but the scandal only came to light in November 2022. The delay in its release added to the outrage when the news finally broke. The fallout from the scandal was severe. David faced criticism, and his position on Britain's Got Talent became untenable. Many fans were left wondering how someone they had admired for so long could have made such hurtful comments. The scandal also raised questions about the culture behind the scenes of Britain's Got Talent. Many fans were wondering how such behavior has gone unchecked for so long. But the fact that he was later called out showed that there are consequences for such behavior, and that accountability is important in all areas of life. Beyond that, the recording also revealed another shocking comment. It exposed inappropriate comments David had made about another contestant. This time, a female contestant. As expected, the media quickly picked up the story, with major outlets like the Daily Mail, The Sun, and The Independent covering it extensively. Social media erupted with intense debates, with many fans expressing deep disappointment. However, others defended David, arguing that these were private jokes that shouldn't warrant such severe consequences. They claimed that he was just trying to be funny and didn't mean to hurt anyone's feelings. Under mounting public pressure, ITV, the network behind Britain's Got Talent, issued an official statement. They affirmed that the show did not tolerate any behavior that could harm or offend contestants. While they didn't name David directly, it was clear that the statement was aimed at him. As the backlash grew, David had no choice but to respond. In a surprising turn of events, David issued a statement expressing deep regret for his words. He acknowledged that they were inappropriate and assured that he never intended to hurt anyone. However, he also emphasized that the conversation was private and never meant to be made public. Despite his apology, the damage to his image had already been done. Some people accepted his apology and called for forgiveness, but many others argued that as a public figure, David should take greater responsibility for his words. In a shocking move, David announced his departure from Britain's Got Talent just weeks after the scandal broke. But what really happened behind the scenes? Although ITV never made an official statement about his dismissal, media insiders reported that David had been forced out. Sources within the show revealed that ITV had held multiple emergency meetings to discuss the situation, ultimately deciding that David could no longer remain on the show. This was a surprising fall from grace for someone who had been a beloved judge on the show for so long.
It was his fourth book and by far his most successful. From TV comedy to children's fiction, David Walliams' Got Talent.
What's even more surprising is that the other judges, including Simon Cowell, Amanda Holden, and Alicia Dixon, made no public comments about the incident. However, according to some sources, the judges were deeply shocked when they learned what David had said on the recording. Simon Cowell, who had been close friends with David, even had a private conversation with him before the final decision was made. In the end, David's replacement on the judging panel was Bruno Tonioli, a former judge on Strictly Come Dancing. This decision immediately sparked mixed reactions from fans. While Bruno was an experienced judge, many felt he couldn't bring the same humor that David had brought to the show. Some fans lamented that the show had lost a part of its soul with David's departure. He had been a beloved fixture on the judging panel, and his humorous interactions with contestants had become a hallmark of the show. But the story didn't end there. David later took an action that no one had expected. He took legal action against the production company behind Britain's Got Talent, Fremantle Media, over a data protection breach. This lawsuit followed his exit from the show in November 2022, which came after private transcripts of the inappropriate remarks he made about contestants in 2020 were leaked. In September 2023, he formally sued Fremantle, arguing that the leak of his private conversations was a violation of his rights. By November 2023, the case was settled out of court, with reports suggesting Walliams received a seven-figure sum. But what about David Walliams outside of Britain's Got Talent? What has he been up to in his personal and professional life? Let's find out. David Walliams' life after Britain's Got Talent. David Walliams' life after departing from Britain's Got Talent has been remarkably private. He chose to remain silent, avoiding the media and refraining from responding to rumors. He made no further statements about the incident. After leaving Britain's Got Talent, David virtually disappeared from television screens. There were no more playful antics on TV, no more lively exchanges with Simon Cowell. He retreated into a quieter, more private life, but that didn't mean he had completely stopped working. Following the 2022 scandal, major television networks seemed hesitant to collaborate with David. Invitations to reality shows and talk shows became increasingly rare for David Walliams.
Hello.
Ah, David, you're here. Great to have you as our first host.
As I'm here all week, I thought I'd make myself at home.
He also stopped making regular appearances at media events or on popular television programs. The scandal had clearly affected his reputation in the entertainment industry. Instead of waiting for a return to television, David focused on what he could control, writing books and producing animated films. Despite the controversy, he remained one of the most successful children's authors in the UK. Books like Gangster Granny, Mr. Stink, and The Boy in the Dress continued to be bestsellers. With television no longer consuming his time, David dedicated himself to personal projects. He continued writing, expanded his career in publishing, and began bringing his stories to the screen through animated film adaptations. In 2023, David Walliams took a big step in his career by adapting his book, Robo-Dog, into an animated film. The film featured voice performances from well-known actors, and this move was seen as a smart strategy. Instead of trying to return to television and reclaim his former position, David chose to invest in an industry where he had full creative control. This decision marked a new chapter in his career after years of dedication to his work. With over 1,000 of his books sold worldwide, his stories have been translated into many languages, reaching and captivating generations of readers. Beyond his career, David's personal life continued to catch the attention of the public. His divorce from supermodel Lara Stone in 2015 left many wondering about his love life. Since their split, David has not remarried or publicly confirmed any new relationships. His marriage to Lara had been one of the most talked about in the entertainment world. They met in 2009, quickly fell in love, and were married just a year later. Their wedding was a major event, as both were major figures in their industries. Lara, a top supermodel, and David, a famous comedian and television star. Their marriage appeared perfect, but it ended unexpectedly in 2015. The exact reason for their divorce was never fully revealed, but sources suggested that the two had very different ideas about their future. David had longed for a stable family life, while Lara preferred a more independent and vibrant lifestyle. Over time, their differing perspectives caused distance between them, leading to their eventual separation. After the divorce, David chose to focus entirely on his career and his son, Alfred, who became his top priority. Although he rarely shared personal details, the few moments he posted on social media revolved around Alfred and their everyday activities. Fans often saw pictures of David taking his son out, participating in outdoor adventures, or enjoying vacations together. No matter how busy his work schedule was, he always made time for Alfred. Becoming a single father had made David more mature, helping him find joy in life. Beyond personal and professional setbacks, in 2023, a surprising rumor surfaced about David. It was rumored that David had joined the Raya dating app, which is known for connecting celebrities. Reports claimed that his profile featured photos of him with his two beloved dogs, Bert and Ernie, but David never confirmed or denied these claims. Despite no longer being the face of reality television, David occasionally made public appearances. He remained active in charity events, particularly those supporting children. That same year, he attended the premiere of Robo-Dog, expressing his excitement about seeing his work adapted for the screen. When asked about Britain's Got Talent, he chose to avoid discussing the past, focusing instead on his new projects. For those hoping for a grand television comeback, disappointment might have been inevitable. David seemed content with his current life, free from the pressures of reality TV and the spotlight. While the entertainment industry has seen many stars make successful comebacks after scandals, such returns required time and the right strategy. So far, David had shown no signs of planning a return. He had no known projects related to reality television, which led many to believe that he had consciously chosen to close that chapter of his career. However, with someone like David, anything could change. Public perception could shift if he reappeared in a compelling project. For now, though, he seemed in no rush. He had built a solid career that didn't depend on television, something few entertainers could achieve after a major scandal.
And after a female contestant walked off stage, Walliams is alleged to have commented, "She's like the slightly boring girl you meet in the pub that thinks you want to F them, but you don't want to F them." Charming. Now he has apologised, and I personally don't think he should be sacked from the show.
His books continued to sell, and film adaptations of his works were still in production. David's journey has been one of hard work, starting from humble beginnings long before he joined Britain's Got Talent. He didn't start as a famous figure, and his rise to success wasn't easy. Early in his career, David worked tirelessly to build his reputation, starting in stand-up comedy where his unique style began to catch attention. As time passed, he gained more recognition, landing roles on TV that helped him grow into a well-known face. His big break came when he joined Britain's Got Talent, where he became a beloved judge. Let's take a short walk back and look at how David began his career. David Walliams' Carter journey. Born in 1971 in London as David Edward Williams, he grew up in an ordinary middle-class family. His father was an engineer, and his mother worked as a laboratory technician. From a young age, David showed a love for performing. However, turning his talent into a career was not easy. While studying at the University of Bristol, David made a life-changing decision. It was a bold move, one that came with uncertainty, but fate had a plan. He joined Footlights, Cambridge University's famous comedy troupe, known for producing legends like John Cleese and Stephen Fry. This was where he developed his scriptwriting and acting skills, unknowingly laying the foundation for a future that would take him far beyond what he imagined. During his time with Footlights, David met Matt Lucas, a like-minded comedian who shared his passion for satire. Their connection was instant. They started creating small comedy sketches, never realizing that these modest performances would one day shape British comedy. Their hard work slowly paid off. They moved from stage performances to radio shows, experimenting with different characters and performance styles. But their big break didn't come overnight. Years of persistence finally led to a career-defining moment in 2003. That year, David Walliams and Matt launched Little Britain, a comedy series that didn't just entertain. The show dissected contemporary British society by introducing a parade of eccentric and outrageous characters. David wasn't just playing typical roles. He was completely transforming into an entirely different person. From the wealthy aristocrats with their pompous attitudes to the quirky working-class oddballs, each character had a unique personality that made audiences laugh and sometimes even gasp in shock. These characters weren't just funny, they were bold and unpredictable, making people think about the world around them in a new way. The show quickly became a sensation, attracting fans not just in the UK, but around the world. However, there was another side to it that many didn't know. Not everyone found the portrayals amusing. Some viewers felt the characters were offensive or controversial, sparking debates that only added to the buzz around the show. Regardless of the criticism, one thing was clear: David Walliams had become a popular name. Despite his success in comedy, David wasn't one to stay in one lane. In 2008, he surprised everyone by stepping into the world of literature. His debut children's book, The Boy in the Dress, told the touching story of a boy who loved wearing dresses and his journey toward acceptance. The book was met with praise, proving that David's storytelling ability extended far beyond comedy. With this success, he continued writing, releasing a string of bestsellers, including Gangsta Granny, Mr. Stink, and Billionaire Boy. His books resonated with young readers, blending humor with important messages about acceptance, kindness, and resilience. His storytelling was so compelling that his works were adapted into films and stage plays. This solidified his reputation as one of the most beloved children's authors of his time. Some even compared him to Roald Dahl.
He's well known for starring roles in Little Britain and Britain's Got Talent, but David Walliams has also been carving out a huge reputation as a children's writer. After 7 bestsellers, he's earned comparisons to his own hero, Roald Dahl.
Though writing brought him a new level of success, David never strayed far from the spotlight. He remained active in comedy and explored different roles, from acting in films to judging high-profile television competitions. But even as his career flourished, he never forgot the struggles of his early days. In the beginning, David faced rejection after rejection. He performed in tiny bars where the audience barely paid attention. There were nights when he questioned if he was truly cut out for show business, but he refused to give up. His persistence eventually led him to Britain's Got Talent in 2012, a decision that changed everything. From the moment he joined the show's judging panel, it was clear he was different. Unlike the other judges, especially the notoriously serious Simon Cowell, David brought something unexpected. He cracked jokes, played pranks, and wasn't afraid to be outrageous on live television. His presence transformed the show, making it more than just a talent competition. The show became a stage for unforgettable moments. David didn't judge contestants solely on skill. He judged with emotion. He offered encouragement even to those who weren't particularly outstanding. At times, this approach frustrated Simon, but it also added balance to the show. Their different personalities became a fan favorite. Simon was cold and calculated, while David was mischievous and unpredictable. One of the most unforgettable moments came when David, without warning, kissed Simon on live television. The studio erupted in laughter, and even Simon, caught completely off guard, couldn't help but crack a smile. David didn't stop there. He continued teasing Simon season after season, even calling him the love of my life in front of millions of viewers. But David wasn't just about humor. He had a heart. When a young contestant, Malachi Paul, broke down in tears on stage, David didn't hesitate. He stepped down, reassured the boy, and encouraged him to keep going. This touching moment solidified David as not just a judge but a mentor. His approach wasn't always welcomed, though. On one occasion, he defied the panel's decision by giving a second chance to an eliminated contestant, leading to an onstage argument. In another instance, he deliberately pressed the golden buzzer for a talentless act just to frustrate Simon. While some saw these moves as disruptive, others felt they added excitement to the show. Behind the scenes, the fun continued. David was known for secretly altering Simon's scripts, causing him to read out unexpected lines. Though often annoyed, even Simon had to admit that David brought an infectious energy to Britain's Got Talent. Before David joined, the show was already a success, but it lacked something: entertaining. David filled that gap. He made contestants feel comfortable, turned awkward moments into comedy, and brought a fresh dynamic to the panel. His influence even extended to the other judges, Amanda Holden and Alicia Dixon, who often found themselves caught up in his jokes. In one particularly hilarious moment, David convinced Alicia to dance with a contestant everyone assumed would be eliminated. Instead of embarrassment, it became one of the most talked-about highlights of the season. His presence brought in new audiences. Many watched, not just for the talent, but for his humor. David Walliams didn't just judge Britain's Got Talent, he transformed it.
Did you enjoy David Walliams' time in Britain's Got Talent? Would you like to see David return to the show? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, click on the next video on your screen. You won't want to miss it.